The violent and deadly saga of rogue ex-cop Chris Dorner is finally over, but as the tense standoff played out on the airwaves last night, and as Dorner claimed another life in a gun battle, some of the mainstream media, they took this opportunity to lend credibility to Dorner's self-proclaimed cause. Now, one network in particular, NBC News, delivered a broadcast that can only be labeled as shameful. Watch this.
He has a media sense that he wants a lot of play here, that he's calling up Charlie Sheen, who's troubled himself over the years, and trying to make some kind of statement through the media here. How would you reckon that right now, and how he's building up this, rallying this group of supporters even, who see him as, you know, almost a challenger, a citizen challenger of the police department out there in its history?
He does have a great media sense, and part of his, Chris, I don't know if you're aware of this, but part of his manifesto talks a great deal about media figures he admires, and Chris, I got to tell you, you're on that list. Yeah. He praises you, praises Joe Scarborough, Brian Williams, Meredith Vieira, Tavis Smiley, Anderson Cooper, Soledad O'Brien, says keep up the great work, follow Cronkite's lead. Yeah. He does have a great sense of the media. He clearly watches and understands what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things in life, as we're seeing here in this tragic case. It'll probably get more tragic as the hours go on, that people can have a very high IQ, for example, tremendous sensitivity in certain areas, and also be emotionally troubled to the point of this horror story here.
Tremendous sensitivity, very high IQ? You got to be kidding me. Here with reaction, Fox News contributor Michelle Malkin. What sensitivity, Michelle? Where does this come from? What, is he just so inspired that he was mentioned by name by this madman and all his liberal friends were mentioned? Sensitivity? That sense of killing innocent cops?
It's sickening. It's chilling. And Chris Matthews wasn't the only one in the media. There were many figures among the professional left who, if they weren't explicitly cheering Christopher Dorner on, certainly harbored some sick sympathy for this man. Where does it come from? Well, it goes all the way back to academia. It goes all the way back to treating these evil people as empty vessels into which they pour every last left-wing grievance. If you watch that clip very closely, it almost seems like Chris Matthews takes pride that he was mentioned in the manifesto with all of these other liberal journalists. And, of course, there's this idea among people at that station that really I consider the dregs of media, that somehow only smart people watch them. Yeah. It really is deranged.
Sensitive people.
It's deranged. It's deranged. And what really, the hot button issue in that manifesto that caused so much sympathy for him among these leftists was when he hit the issue of racism. And to the extent that these people will condemn America, that's where the sympathy comes from. I
am nervous that this guy, anybody in the future that is as sick and as crazed and evil as this guy, that wants attention, well, you might get, let's go to Charlie Sheen, who actually put out a video to this guy, and then Jesse Jackson sends a letter. Watch this.
Christopher Dorner, this is Charlie Sheen. You mentioned me in your manifesto, so thank you for your kind words. I'm urging you to call me. Let's figure out together how to end this thing. Call me. I look forward to talking to you.
I look forward to talking to you. And then Jesse Jackson says the following in a letter that he wrote on Facebook. I understand your feelings of hurt and pain. I make this plea to you to stop spreading the pain, the hurt, the fear. Please stop. Don't take any more lives. I'll do whatever I can do without hesitation. Please contact me through Danny, whatever his name is, the LA Sentinel. Is giving attention to this guy by mentioning people's names in a manifesto, is that a bad idea?
Of course it is. It is going to encourage other sick people who are looking for their 15 minutes of fame. I regret that we have to talk about it in this way, but I think it is very illuminating. There's a sickness in our culture. It is a piece. It is of a whole of this problem of celebrity worship and the cult of fame, the looky-loos, and the moral cockroaches that infest our society. You look at the glorification glorification of people like Mumia Abu-Jamal,
that's a great
Tookie
point.
Williams, every cop killer, and the glorification of cop killing in the culture. All of these rappers who are the best friends of President Obama and Mrs. Obama, what do? That is their main theme, is killing cops. Not just questioning authority, which has always been the trope of the left, but murdering it.
All right, let me ask one last question. Now, after almost every incident, Sarah Palin is blamed, talk radio, Rush Limbaugh. This is just one example. Brian Williams doing this. Watch this.
Yeah.
It'll speak for itself.
The bombing in Oklahoma City has focused renewed attention on the rhetoric that's been coming from the right and those who cater to angry white men. While no one's suggesting that right-wing radio jocks approve of violence, the extent to which their approach fosters violence is being questioned by many observers, including the President of the United States. The list of those the President may have had in mind is at once long and familiar. Right-wing talk show hosts like Rush Limbaugh, Bob Grant, Oliver North, G. Gordon Liddy, Michael Reagan, and others take to the air every day with basically the same format. Detail a problem, blame the government or a group, and invite invective from like-minded people.
Now, I only have 20 seconds, but now that this guy loved liberals, we'd be, I guess, justified by their logic to blame them for what he did. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, the left has always had this habit of either blame whitey or blame righty. And now the blame righty mob has fallen completely silent since this manifesto heaped all of this praise on these very people. It's come back to blow up in their faces, and they have nothing to say about it.
All right, Michelle, always good to see you. Thanks for being with us.
You bet.